You know, most people walk through the world and never see what's right there in front of them. They look, they don't actually see. You know, if you can read it, the ground is really noisy. This whole environment is talking, and almost nobody's paying attention to that anymore. You know, for all the great things we've got in our modern world, it's kind of nice, you know, but unfortunately, it's placed our ability to observe. So we're very distracted in our observation of things around us anymore. You know, we stare at screens, we scroll way too much. Instead of screens, we should be looking at landscapes. We react and respond to things in a way that's unusual instead of just noticing certain patterns in the world. So when you stop noticing, you stop understanding the world. A lot of you don't spend a ton of time out in the world like this, like I do, but I like to track. And the key thing is tracking doesn't begin with footprints, really. It begins with your mind. Most people walk right past things like this. They don't see those slight changes of color or sheen, dullness, brightness. You know, sometimes just a little patch of soil that looks different than the rest. Leaves that don't match the pattern in which they're made in. A pine needle broken in a certain way that makes it obvious. You know, edges can show themselves in very unique ways. You know, whether they're crushed or just pushed aside. These subtle things, your eye has forgotten how to look for it. It sees it. It just doesn't know it. You don't need to know why it's different yet. The first step is simply noticing that it's different. You know, people think that tracking starts with reading a track. It doesn't start there. It really starts with noticing the environment around you, the small details that most men just walk right past without a second thought. This is some sign here. If you were tracking, you wanted to see a deer, bite off these. See where they've nubbed it off. That was much younger when it happened, obviously, in the springtime. This isn't really interpretation. This isn't really technique. This is awareness. And that's really the foundation of where everything comes from. I mentioned in a previous video, you know, 1,000 years ago, we were probably being tracked by something else other than us tracking them. Tracking is ultimately the art of seeing what others miss and not rushing past the story that the world is trying to tell you. When you train your eye to notice things more, other things change too. Without knowing it, you know that you've started to slow down. You started to stay a little bit calmer. You stop getting surprised by things, especially when those things probably shouldn't surprise you. So awareness really, it makes you stronger, more confident, more aware, and far more connected to the world that you live in. It's not about paranoia. It's really about clarity. Awareness is the first piece, the beginning portion of tracking. And it's really the first time you're going to notice what others miss. No technique there, just really that technique comes later. There's no mystery to it. It's really just starting to train your eye to see things it hasn't seen before, ultimately. And if you can't get your mind in a good place, nice and calm and ready to receive some of that, the noise in your head's going to distract you and you're just not going to see it. So understanding interpretation comes later. That comes in classes like the one I'm doing. But awareness is something you can work on every day. You should start practicing it today. That's why I'm teaching this course, and hopefully we'll get some more courses going to bring this skill back, one layer at a time, one little bit of awareness at a time. The very first step is slowing down. Sometimes just sitting still, you know. I get out here, usually I just stop and watch. I don't even walk, I just watch. I see the environment from a distance, from far away. And then I start to move in on it a little bit, see what's moved. If I'm familiar with the area, I can typically see what's been going on. Pay attention to those small things. You walked right past hundreds of clues today without noticing it. Let's change that. Tracking starts with awareness, and awareness starts right here. If you liked what you heard today, please hit the like button, subscribe. If you are interested in the tracking classes, I think we're going to try to leave a link here that you can click on. I appreciate you spending time with me, and I look forward to getting deeper into this with you. Have a great day.